Hello, hello, my friends. It is Aldo, and welcome back to the Knights of the Nerd Republic. You know what to do, and stay profitable.
The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Hello there, and welcome back to Knights of the Nerd Republic, the show where your favorite nerds talk all things about the galaxy far, far away. I am your host, Jarod, the Dark Jedi, Bachman Stubbs, and Visions Volume 3 is upon us. Yay! I'm very excited to talk about this. I enjoyed the first volume of Visions quite a bit. Volume 2 really wasn't hitting for me, but I am not alone. I could not do this episode with anybody but the host of Pro and Noob, the proprietor of the Mitch692 channel, and co-host of Comic Book Cast. It's Mitch on his first appearance on Knights of the Nerd Republic.
I was going to say, it's my first KNR.
Yeah, this would be your first KNR.
4 years I've been helping Jarod out on TNAP, and this is the first time he's ever let me on KNR talk Star Wars.
Well, here's the thing. I normally find especially in the last couple of years, I have found myself struggling to get the people who do the cape shit on. You know, Travis's schedule been a nightmare. Bill's kind of a jack of all trades, so it's nice to have him these days without constantly pestering you to do episodes in, you know, hours and time zones that are not beneficial to you, especially because you already have your own channel and Pro and Noob and CBC to worry about. Meanwhile, I have to use one of my favorite words I learned because of Knowledge Fight, I have a tranche of people who can talk Space Wizards at a drop of a hat. So that one's easier to do. But because of this specific subject matter, I was like, there is no better person to have on deck than Mr. 692.
Fun fact, he's never seen season 2 of Visions.
Well, that's not the one we're talking about today.
No, I know. I found it funny. I watched season 1, season 3, not season 2.
Season 2's all right. But
That's
before we jump into the Star Wars anime goodness, a brief word from our sponsors over at Sunday's Bloody Mary. You guys know the drill. Sunday's Bloody Mary has the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the galaxy with their 3-time award-winning spicy mix as well as their mild and traditional mixes if the spice isn't for you. This holiday season, if you want to shake up your Bloody Mary game with the only Bloody Mary mix better than a From Scratch Bloody, use the link in the description down below and use the code TNAP, TNAP at checkout to get 10% off your order and help out your favorite nerds while you do it. Mitch.
Jarod.
How do we feel overall on Visions Volume 3?
I really liked it.
Yeah?
I think overall it might be a stronger season than season 1.
Okay.
But because I haven't watched season 1 in a while, I'm not confident in saying that exactly. But
well, I mean, I can confidently say I really like this one. My 3 favorite episodes all got a sequel. So, you know, I got...
Oh, yeah, I forget you like the mid shit, don't you? Yeah.
Okay, we're off to a great start. Okay.
I mean, it's the first episode, so why not? I started at the top.
Hey, why not? But no, I enjoyed this one. You know, I find myself... I don't know. I guess this could be said for just how I engage with like anime in general. I'm not as into the slice of life ones. You know,
Slice of life, you have to not force yourself, or personally anyway. I never really liked slice of life stuff before. The last couple of years, it's all I've been watching, really.
And that's not to say that I think it's bad. I just know, like very much pro and noob style conversation right now, which for those of you who don't know, somehow that is the show where Mitch is showing me anime for the first time. We did a season on Evangelion, did a season on Cowboy Bebop. We've done the first 2 seasons of Dan to Dan. Next on the docket, starting very soon, is going to be Attack on Titan. So like, again, kind of like a very similar conversation that we've had over there. It's just not something I'm like, super into. It's like a little mundane. Not that that's a bad thing. I understand
It's
the
kind of the
appeal,
point, yeah. Right.
but so for me, like with a lot of the Vision stuff, like these kind of like more silly slice of life, like looking at Volume 1, Tatooine Rhapsody, Toby Wan, those ones, not really my shit. Not really my shit. I can appreciate them. I don't think they're bad. Not really my vibes. And I think with season 3, I think kind of felt that way with Yuko's Treasure.
Which one was Yuko's treasure again?
Blue hair kid, pink hair kid, teddy
Oh
bear,
yeah,
cyborg.
the not Totoro. Yeah. I'll be honest, I fucking love that one.
And again, I
I
don't think it was bad. I think there are more hitters. I think this season is all good. I think the only one that if I were to sit down and rewatch this, that I would skip would probably be Yurko's Treasure or Yuko's Treasure. Mostly because it felt like a Giblified Skeleton Crew, and it was like
yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time, it felt too familiar while
That's
also
kind
not
of why I really
feeling enough
liked
like
it.
Star Wars.
That's kind of why I liked it. In fairness, I was like, oh, cool. It's Skeleton Crew. If it was Ghibli, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But we obviously without the Miyazaki of it all, which maybe one day we'll actually have Ghibli. I don't know what their deal is, why they haven't. What's standing in the way of that? Because it's a home run, really.
Because I know they
Unless they
did that
want
like
Ghibli to
little
do like a
short
full
with
movie.
maybe I know they did that little short with Grogu
Yeah, it's Grogu in the
that's somewhere on Disney Plus.
I can't
Hold
think what
on,
they're
I'm
called.
adjusting my headphones and I can't hear you.
No.
My headphone thing is being very strange today.
Well, if you keep playing with it,
Here, I'm gonna pause for a second,
Hmm.
and we're back.
Usually, when they say don't play with it, you go blind. But this time, Jared's gone deaf.
That was really good. All right, let's jump in here with both feet. Starting off with the duel payback.
Mid as fuck. I'm sorry.
I like the duel.
I know people like the duel. I get why people like the duel. The duel's not bad. I do enjoy the duel. It's the most bare bones. What can we do to say this is Japanese Star Wars imaginable? Make it samurai, make it Ronin, and give it the Kurosawa black and white. There's nothing there. You have a cool umbrella lightsaber in the first episode in season 1. Great.
I get what you're saying. I think for me, like, it definitely isn't the most challenging for me as a Star Wars fan.
No.
But like,
It's
I do
just the
find it
easy to swallow one.
But no, here's the thing. For me, I do think there are parts of it that are like kind of challenging as a Star Wars fan. Like seeing Star Wars reinterpreted, because this one feels the least like Star Wars but anime, and more like Star Wars if it took place in Japan.
Yeah.
Where we have like the Straw Hat astromechs, carting around. A lot of that's a lot of the architecture, a lot of the setting. It doesn't feel like we're jumping between planets. It just feels like we are in a forest in Japan or a village in Japan, and not like Nar Shaddaa, and now we're on Ord Mantell, and now we're on Hoth, and now we're on Kajimi. Like it's like it just feels like Star Wars on Japan. And on that level, it is a little challenging to me because it's like I really enjoy it. I think it's cool. I will say with this one, the fight choreography felt a lot floatier than it did in part 1.
Yeah, they've lent into the more. This is like Kurosawa, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons.
Yeah, and that's not bad. I just like with the art style. it's a little more difficult to keep track of what's going on in the fights. You know, pardon my hiccups. Like I like the sword strikes don't feel like they're clashing as hard as they did before. Like I said, it feels a lot floatier.
I get.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just I missed this part a little bit. Um, Now there is one thing I want to talk about with the duel, and Mitch
Is
and I
it?
talked about this. So
Is it?
I would set the table real quick. Last night while I was watching All the Visions, Volume 3, I texted Mitch and I
Mhm,
said there's something in the duel payback that really pisses me off
mhm.
and on a really stupid level. And Mitch was like, and I know
That's
what
not
it
the
is.
words he used, but for the sake of the internet, we will
Yes.
use on a stupid level.
I don't even remember what I said. If I said something
Oh, I
heinous,
know exactly.
yeah.
Isn't it? I wouldn't even say it's heinous, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that.
Mm,
I have a very particular gripe.
mm. It's a specific spice,
Yes.
mm. Specific head spice going on.
Specific headspace.
Mm.
Mitch, what do you think my issue is?
Is it the lightsaber foot at the end?
It is. It's about like it's lightsaber stuff. It is not the lightsaber foot.
Because that was what mine was. I'm like, how is she standing up on a lightsaber foot? I don't get it. And
I
it
don't
annoys me
either.
because that should have gone through the ground. No.
I don't get it either, and I don't particularly like that element.
Mm.
But it's not that. And I had this complaint in Volume 1, and I am doubling down on it for Volume 2.
Is it the it's already ignited in the scabbard?
No, because they actually do something really cool with that.
No.
Because in the Ronin book, they talk about how basically his lightsaber is damaged to the point where it cannot deactivate. So like the scabbard is like one of the few like
Do you know what?
lightsaber.
I like it
twisted
less because of that. Because Star Wars has to explain everything. I hate that.
No,
I hate that
listen,
explanation.
I don't
hate
think.
that
Okay,
explanation.
I think you're putting the cart before the horse. I think the idea of the lightsaber can't deactivate was part of the design, and it was like, and this is cool, and I think it's adding a cool like reason for it. I don't think it's the need to explain everything because Star Wars also doesn't really do that.
It does. Saying it doesn't really is saying it does it.
Agree to disagree.
No.
The thing that frustrates me, and it frustrates me even more here, I really, really do not understand the flattening of the lightsaber sound effect to just the Kylo Ren sounds.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's a very specific you thing. Yeah.
Like, again, Kylo Ren, favorite Star Wars character. But I dislike that here, every single swoosh and clash and ignition and deactivation is all the same Kylo Ren sound. And it frustrates me even more in this in the dual payback because all the other sound design is incredibly diverse. Every different blaster sounds different. And they're using some of the more like lesser used versions of those throughout this. Like we have the Gungan shield generator that with like when they put the shield up over the little gambling hall, you know, I'm pretty sure I hear like the Naboo guard blaster a couple times. There's like that classic like DL-44 blaster sound. The engines all sound differently. They're using fun like different blaster sound. They're using the Slave One blaster cannons whenever those Republic gunships are trying to shoot them. Like there's a huge swath from across trilogies of sound effects being used. But the moment a lightsaber comes out, it is just the that's that really gruff, almost like almost wet sound that the Kylo Ren lightsaber makes. That gargle. And it's on every clash, it's on every ignition. And I like that sound design for the Kylo Ren lightsaber. I really wish the duel part 1 and part 2 just like maybe you do that with Ronin's because his is like unstable and weird. And that's just the sound of an unstable lightsaber. But I wish I could also hear like kind of just that traditional like you know, from our like mad Jedi, you know, or the other Sith who he's hunting down here. Like
the Jedi in the shell, because that's what that is. No.
yes, but yeah, I like it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Choreography was a little less fun for me. I really like the Ewoks. Again, this felt very like what if Star Wars was in Japan and not what if Japan did Star Wars. I like that subversion. I thought it was a lot of fun. I like the Jedi a lot. I think he's a very fun analysis on, you know, the kind of like monopoly on power that the Jedi have.
Yeah.
I think that Volume 3 did a lot about the spirit of the Jedi and what that means. And that works a lot for me personally. So I was really happy with that. And I like that we began it with a Jedi who like fully lost their way and fully misunderstands the code. There's also a line, what I thought you thought I didn't like was what Ronan says about the Force.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you what he says, to be honest.
Well, he was talking about like, you know, to eradicate one side of the Force is to like pretend it doesn't exist when both need to exist for balance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought you were going to be frustrated with the verbiage of that because on paper I agree with that. There are going to be people who think that means 50-50 light, 50-50 dark. And that is what that means, and not just like the presence of the darkness is natural. And we're not going to get into the definition of balance in the Force.
Completely ignoring the whole yin yang thing, where there's light in dark and there's dark in light.
Yeah, and that, you know, the Sith ideologically need the darkness to overcome. It's whatever. We're not going to get into we're not going to talk about balance right now, but. I thought you thought I was going to be bitching about that because I get so worked up over people saying that's what balance is tapping into the dark side for good.
You can tell who's further along a certain spectrum, because I never would have gone for sound design. At any given point in time, there is someone who is the most divergent in existence, and there's no way of ever knowing. But if you want to feel better about yourself, just replay the last 10 minutes.
If you want to feel better about yourself, ask me specific questions about lightsabers, and I will have a lot to say. As it is the coolest weapon in all of fiction.
No. I'm sorry, I can't agree with that one. There's one way. If Star Wars ever did a thing, it would never happen. It would never happen. But if they ever did a thing, maybe. As it stands, no.
What do you think the coolest weapon in all of fiction is?
The Scythe had the biggest glow up in absolutely anything. There has never been a bad Scythe that use it as a weapon. No.
I'm talking about like a unique weapon from a thing.
Yeah, but what is a lightsaber? It is a sword.
But I'm saying the specific parameters of here is this like magical plasma sword with a semi-sentient gem powering it, and you know everything the lightsaber can do, like the mythology around the lightsaber. Like,
pick a Scythe, it wins. Completely impractical. Meant for farming. Completely impractical. It's gone from farming food to aura farming, and nothing has ever beaten a Scythe. Nothing will ever beat a Scythe. I'm sorry. It's impossible to not look cool with a Scythe.
Well, old farming tools and aura farming are no match for a good lightsaber by your side. I'm mangling the Han Solo quote to be about a lightsaber instead of a blaster now.
What if the Scythe was made of a beam? And the size of a building?
Too big. Ungainly.
No, it's not ungainly. It's in proportion.
Too big. I don't like.
It's being held by a giant robot.
I don't like.
Later on, that scythe goes like thunk, and
listen,
it has two.
You Evangelion pilled me, and we're going to be talking about Evangelion for these last two because
I had Evangelion for the next two.
Okay. That's cool. I also saying the last two gave me big Evangelion vibes.
I know, 'cause I saw you ski, but
I
there
had a
are
I had a very
there are
funny
connections.
conversation with Taylor that we'll talk about with those two. Um, but
But beam scythe beats lightsaber. I'm sorry.
nah, whatever. All right, the Song of Four Wings.
Mm. Project Studio Q.
Oh, by the way, give us Project Studio for the
Anima is a studio that done the duel. The only ones I know they've done are Dot Hack Versus and Akira Toriyama's Sandland. They're the only two that I know. Not that
Okay.
I've ever seen Sandland. I think Sandland was the last thing he done before Dragon Ball Daima. But yeah, I need to watch Sandland.
Okay.
But I like Dot Hack. I used to love that stuff. No, I was all over that series.
Okay, sweet.
Mm.
Song of
Project
Four
Studio
Wings.
Q, on the other hand, you
Yeah.
should know, Jared.
Did they do the rebuilds?
They did one.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Which one did they do?
Thrice Upon a Time.
God, those fucking titles are still ridiculous, and I love them.
It's not even the full thing either.
But what?
It's Shin Evangelion Project Q 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time. And it's Thrice Upon a Time because it's the third ending.
I can't wait to talk about the last two. I fucking can't wait.
Okay. Which one? This I had a really funny time with this because when the trailer came out for Vision Season 3 and the posters, I would have bet money, a substantial amount of money, that this was Trigger.
And those are the folks who did the twins, right?
Yeah.
I also thought that. I also
the
thought
character design of what her name is, the AT-ATs, whatever they're called, because I know they're the sequel ones, they're not the original ones.
No, these are the AT-ATs, yeah.
Are they? I thought it had the red bar from the sequels.
So the ATM6s are the gorilla walkers because they kind of look like they're on their knuckles.
Yeah, they got the knuckles. Knuckle draggers.
So the Imperial walkers do have like the red visor screen in like some of the ways they're depicted. That's mostly from like the original version of Empire, where they have like a little bit of a different color from the stop motion, but they are sometimes depicted with the red visor, the red windshield. But the ATM6s actually have that all the time. So yeah.
Anyway, the walkers coming up at fucking ice. I was like, that is a Trigger thing. There's no way anyone's convinced me that's not a Trigger thing. And then it starts and it's Project Studio Q, and I'm like, God damn, I'm wrong. I am way.
the AT-ATs coming out of the ice was really cool. I really liked the Imperial repurposed Sandcrawler that they're using for the coaxium mining.
Oh yeah, with the whole chip.
That was cool. That was cool seeing the Empire just steal a Sandcrawler for some Jawas. I was like, oh, that's fun. That's a fun.
Still this thing that the Jawas probably stole. Yeah, great.
Yeah. I mean, the Jawas all over the galaxy have Sandcrawlers, so I don't know if that's a cultural thing for them. Who fucking knows? But either way, it was cool seeing them have a Sandcrawler. But yeah, no, yeah, now it is. Yeah, but that was fun. I remember this. Like, this one felt like very, tame Star Wars. I was like, okay, whatever. And I feel like it's trying to lull you into a false sense of security. Because it's like, here's a rebel hotshot. She's from a people that have been annihilated, and it's like a lot of it is like very Star Warsy, kind of like starter pack shit for a rebel character.
Yeah.
And then the main walker grows extra appendages from the part that should be carrying troops, which I also thought was fun. That's not a complaint. I just like, because again, this is the time to just do buck wild shit. I was like, oh, that's fun. And again, the only trailer I saw for Visions Volume 3, and then marketing I really looked at, was the trailer that came out of Celebration.
Yeah.
because Bill and I talked about it when we were doing our celebration live streams.
Mm.
So like I did not pay any attention to the rest of this stuff because it's like I know I'm gonna watch it. I want to be surprised. Like I don't want I don't want like a money shot crazy animation thing to be spoiled for me in the trailer.
Yeah.
So maybe this is in the trailer. I don't remember, but I remember losing my shit when she had her magic girl transformation into an X-wing.
See, I didn't know that was a thing. I don't remember seeing that in the trailer in the slightest.
Okay, so I wouldn't have been spoiled for that. Either way, I thought it was so funny because like
it was so good.
Because Taylor did basically what she did when I was watching Marvel Zombies, which was I don't think I'm gonna watch this, but I'll be futzing around on my phone with my AirPods in while you
Yeah.
watch this, Jared. And I know she loves a magic girl transformation. And she kept looking up and she was making jokes about the stormtroopers being incompetent even in anime land.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Oh, that AT-AT looks crazy." And then she starts to do her like X-wing transformation. I was like, "Taylor, look!" And Taylor like dropped her phone and went, "She's a magic girl."
Everyone loves a magical girl. Everyone loves it.
She's a magic girl. She's an X-wing magic girl. But
it's annoying because I pay attention to the voice cast this time around, and I know a few of them, and I cannot remember who the hell they were. What's this one called? The Song of Four Wings. I'm certain this one had.
I also like the title a lot because obviously you have the little creature who she rescues. Their religion is based around these four-winged creatures, and then she turns into like I get like it's very obvious, the joke.
Yeah, because there's a whole thing with the cranes, and the crane actually, like the origami crane, it plays. There's more of a metaphor behind that, and I'm completely blanking on right now, but
like culturally with the paper crane.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because there's a whole thing where they make. I think there's a thing where they make 1,000 paper cranes, and it's supposed to be like good luck, prosperity, health, like all that sort of stuff.
That's cool. And then it turns into X-wing. Like it was very like as I saw Song of Four Wings, and I was like, oh, like someone will be inspired by an X-wing, right? You know. And I assumed it was X-wing when I saw the title. Then I saw the synopsis that this was like a Age of the Empire story, and I was like, oh, okay, so it was definitely an X-wing. But still, this is very cute and very fun.
No, I realized it wasn't one of my favorites in the end.
Same.
What did I say? I think overall, I just thought it was okay. Like, there's some parts of it that I absolutely loved. There's other parts I'm like, I think as a whole, it's kind of okay.
Valid.
It's better than the Duel. It's better than the Duel.
Meh, I don't know about that, but
it's better than Duel. It's actually got an idea behind it that isn't just basic. This is what Hollywood would make if they want to do Japanese Star Wars.
I think it's neat. But moving on, we have our second sequel, Ninth Jedi, Child of Hope. Now, do you remember which one is getting a whole series? Is it Village Bride or Ninth Jedi? I can't.
It's Ninth Jedi. It's this one.
It is this
That's
one.
That's why it says to be continued in.
That's right. I forgot.
Oh no! This is. Oh no! This is the one with the voice acting, and it's gonna bug me. No, sorry. I remember looking at it going. Huh.
Hold on.
Can't remember who she is.
I gotta look back at this one because I can't remember the name of the droid.
Oh. I want to say Toby, but I know it's not Toby.
Tito.
That's it, Tito. Yeah. Tito was fantastic.
So this one Taylor did end up watching all of, having not seen the first Ninth Jedi.
Wow.
She's not seen any of. She's seen most of Visions Volume 3 now, but she had not seen Volume 1, and she had said, she's like, oh, I've seen clips. They looked really cool. She was like, she's like, I'm not surprised you're into the one with the fucking, the dark Jedi who hunts Sith Lords with a lightsaber katana. But
Because Jared's nothing if not basic.
I am nothing if not consistent. And again, the genre inversion of there being instead of it being a dark Jedi or Sith who's hunting Jedi, it being a dark Jedi who is hunting Sith Lords. And because they have no real affiliation with the Jedi Order, they can fight dirty like a Sith. I like that shit. Like if Ionized Bastards not gone in the direction it did, where it became a story about redemption, I think Fabian Martell would have been a similar character to Ronin, where he is a Darksider fighting Darksiders who can never truly be rehabilitated because he continues to attach himself to the dark side. And I think that's a really fun character dynamic, because they never try to make the Ronin a hero.
No, don't.
Yeah. That is a dark side force user. But he's killing other Darksiders. And it's can a Darksider be a good guy? Maybe. But there's no redemption until you let go of the dark side. And I like that. But anyway, with Ninth Jedi.
Kimiko Glenn is the voice actress.
And what do you know her from?
Penny Parker.
Oh! In Spider-Verse or just in Rivals or
Spider-Verse? Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
She's also nifty, I think, in Has Been Hotel.
Oh my gosh. Taylor loves Has Been.
I love Has Been.
I like it a lot. It's that's one of her she has me watch it with her things. I like it a lot. We actually watched the first 2 episodes of the new season last night, right before I put on Visions.
Nice.
Because she was bummed and didn't want to watch Sunday Night Football because her fantasy team already got fucking shot into the atmosphere.
This is why I don't fantasy leagues, because like that. Yeah.
I am on the way to a massive comeback. I hit 2-3 weeks where all of my good players were hurt at once.
Yeah.
And I could not do anything with my roster without dropping people who I knew would get better but were useless for 3 weeks. So now my team is on the mend, but knock on wood there for a second.
Gravity, a banger, by the way, from Has Been.
Oh yeah, that was that Angel's Revenge song.
The Luke song, yeah.
No, dude, I was fucking rocking out. But Ninth Jedi, Child of Hope. This one was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot.
I love this episode.
This was good.
I'm really excited for the series after this. Really excited.
Same. This was really good. Tito, his sacrifice had Taylor sobbing, fully full body sobbing. Especially when he was he was opening up the Scomp Link port. And she was like, no. And it was she just made this horrible noise. No.
Can't kill the droid with cufflinks on. God damn. That's adorable. The little cuff.
But again, I think this also lends itself towards this continued theme about the spirit of the Jedi.
Which I find really funny because I don't think it's intentional, but she looks like I can never say the name right. Hold on, give me a second.
Take your time.
What is it? Chihiro or Chihilo from Spirited Away. The whole character design of her is, to me, the same. It's the pink with the little ties and the brown hair and the ponytail. I just can't help but see Spirited Away looking at Night Jedi.
Another little thing with Kara, I really like her lightsaber color.
It's the teal, right? It's not the light blue. It's
not quite.
I like that.
Blue. It's not quite green. It's that teal. I had to fact check myself. I was convinced that the Legends character Nomi Sunrider had the same exact shade, and then I went to look it up to show Taylor, and all of the images I found of Nomi were her with a traditional green. And now I have no idea who I was thinking of. Maybe Tenel
you Mandela affect yourself.
Maybe it's Tenel Ka Dejal. I don't remember who I was thinking of now. It might be Tenel Ka, but either way, I love that shade of lightsaber. But no, this is a very sweet story. You know, obviously like kind of like the backdoor pilot with this idea of like we're gonna find your dad and we're being hunted by these pirates. And, you know,
it feels very Star Warsy.
it does feel very Star Wars. It does feel very Star Wars. Yeah, like I said, I don't have a lot to say about this one. It was just I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. R.I.P. Tito. R.I.P. to a real one. I will say the fight choreography whenever Kara was going 1v2 with the two bounty hunters at the Electro staff was good.
That's one thing these all have in common, I think, is like even the duel, like they've all got really good fight choreography.
Yeah.
Like whether there's lightsabers in it or not, I think they will do really well. But then, what do you expect from the people that did End of Evangelion and Attack on Titan?
That was my next question.
And Ghost in the Shell and Vinland Saga. Not that I've watched Vinland Saga, I really should. But yeah,
I was gonna ask because I was like, I feel like this is Evangelion-y, like the art style. I was like, I thought so.
There's a little bit in there, yeah. There's a little bit in there.
And I didn't look anything up because I was relying on you to do that part of this episode.
It's only End of Evangelion. They didn't do the series. It's only End of Evangelion.
That's what I thought. But yeah, thank you. See, this is what you guys are getting here on Pros of the Noob Republic.
The Panar.
Panar. The Bounty Hunters.
This one genuinely took me by surprise.
I fuck with this one heavy.
Same. This, I saw this and I was like, this is going to be my favorite one. There's no way they beat this. There's no fucking way. There's absolutely zero chance it beats this. I came out of it. It's not my favorite one.
It's okay. So
this was a little bit mad at that, but
I think this is either number 2 or number 3 for me.
Oh, it's easy number 2. Easy.
Is number 2 or number 3 for me. I really like this one. I like
character designs. The fights are cool. The characters are just cool.
I love a droid with a gimmick. I love a droid with a gimmick. I will say there was a part of my brain that felt specifically scratched because they do something with the droid. I think whenever he's in medical droid mode.
Is it with the light shifts on his chest?
No, it's with his voice. It's with his affect. Where they do this thing where he talks a little, and it's not so quite the like kind of sing-songy, but it's the way that it kind of gets a little tinny at the end while he's speaking. And there's that little warble.
It's like
in there.
the weird. I can't think what that thing's called. They used it to make the Star Trek or Doctor Who intro. That little
like the
weird,
Tesla coil.
It's not called a Tesla coil, but it's that. It's got that brain not work good. The little pole and the little pole and the loop, and it's like you do that. No.
Well, for me, I like it when I like that affect on the droid's voice because like it's like that's how Proxy talks in the Force Unleashed. Starkiller's like training droid, holo droid thing, and I just like in like that like as a kid, I remember just loving hearing Proxy speak because he does that. You know, my primary programming master is to eventually kill you, and you know, and it's like that affect I like on the droid a lot.
If you can hear the clicky clack, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. But no, 7 I think is a fun character. You know, I like the. I found myself like frustrated in a good way with her, like because the story is so like I'm like, are we really gonna pretend that you're okay with slavery? Is that what we're doing? We're gonna pretend that you're cool with this shit.
Wow.
For the sake of a little bit.
Let a morally grey character be morally grey, Jared. Not saying slavery is morally grey. That's not what I'm saying in the slightest. Let a bad character be a bad character.
Well, they tee her up not to be, though, is my thing.
Sure, but
you know, like very similar to what is it, the Smuggler? Later,
yeah.
You know, we're like that. Like we'll talk about that one. I thought that was great. That was such a like Star Wars Scoundrels for Dummies.
Yeah, I'm struggling to which one was this one?
And the Bounty Hunters, I think, is very much the same way, where it's like, let's take this person who's had a tough go of things, who is a soldier without a nation, who has nowhere to go, they're out of options, and it's very Din in the very beginning of The Mandalorian, where it's like, okay,
Oh, that one, yeah, no,
make this terrible choice that you're going to instantly regret, and then do the right thing, so that we can make you a marketable hero.
I've got something to say about that episode.
Well, I'm talking about the Bounty Hunters.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the smuggler. Anyway, Bounty Hunter.
No,
yeah.
I'm saying the smuggler does something similar, where it's like here is the arc of like every single scoundrel in Star Wars.
Yeah,
where you start as a selfish mercenary, and then you're thrust into a situation where doing the right thing is the only thing to do, and now oops, I'm a hero now. And I get, that's not to say that I think either of those are bad. They're not. A lot of like really great characters in Star Wars have come from this. It is the Han Solo archetype. It is Dash Rendar. It is, it is Din Djarin. We've seen it time and time again. If I will say again, I wouldn't call myself a Star Wars Outlaws hater. I do get shit in a number of group chats because I call it Star Wars Midlaws. But that is one thing I will credit that game with, is that they don't turn Kay Vess into a hero of the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah.
Is that Kay has run-ins with the Empire. She does not like the Empire, but at the end of her story, she is still an outlaw. She is still like not somebody who's like, okay, and now I'm going to go be a smuggler for the rebellion, and I will eventually find my way into serving as a foot soldier in their ranks. They don't do that with Kay Vess, and I respect them for it. And to a lesser extent, they do that with Seven. She does a good thing, and then she goes back to being a bounty hunter and goes on to do bounty hunter shit.
She knows her place.
She knows her place.
Knows
it was very good.
And
I like that she has beef with the Jedi who helped save her soul.
Yeah, I love it. This is your fault. Like, oh, okay. Oh. They don't. I don't remember them ever making it clear that it was a Jedi who saved her at the start. I don't think you ever saw the lightsaber. You only see the lightsaber later on.
No, you do see the lightsaber because you see it's the building on fire, and you see that Jedi take out one of the other assassins because they shoot at the Jedi. We see the green blade like deflect a few blaster bolts, and then she cuts them down, and then we see the Jedi start marching towards Seven. The Jedi force pulls the lightsaber or the blaster out of Seven's hand. And then as it looks like they might be getting ready to attack Seven despite her being disarmed, they then cut to the present day. And then we go back and see Seven being like, hey, I'm sorry these people fucked your life up. Go choose to do something better, So
I remember seeing it the second time. And I was like, oh, it was a Jedi. Because for some reason I thought they were holding it back, but this is what you get when you watch it all in one night, like nearly a week ago.
But yeah, bounty hunters, fun. Also, Sim Jim, the fucking Jeff Bezos ass Star Wars villain. I appreciate the very.
He's also a magical girl.
What?
He's also a magical girl.
Yes, because he transforms into a fucking gold-plated droideka. I appreciate the anime-ified prequel trilogy battle droids. Because like the B2 super battle droids are huge. He has his droideka mech. And the proportions on the B1s that we see the freedom fighters fighting for a little bit are also kind of wonky in a fun way. So I love goofy ass war droids. I think they're always fun, especially when it's like, let's take this model of like separatist trade federation unit and just make it big and ugly. I love that shit. So points on that as well.
But again,
moving on, unless you have anything else to say about the
I was just going to say, it was done by WIT, WIT. And I'm not sure. the Attack on Titan thing confuses me. I don't know if Wit and production IG worked together on it or if it went from one to another. 'Cause I know Attack on Titan has an art style change. It's only subtle, but it's there. But the big one is Spy Family. Watch Spy Family.
Oh, I've heard good things about that. I won't watch Spy Family because it might end up being being a season. So every time Mitch is like, "Watch this anime," I'm like, "Only if you let me."
I mean, Taylor can watch Spy. Taylor would love Spy Family, I reckon.
Noted. Moving on to, I'm gonna be real, my least favorite, Yuko's Treasure.
Your least favorite? No,
Yeah.
it isn't. Is Yuko's Treasure next? Oh, it isn't. I'm thinking of the last ones. Oh, see, I really enjoyed Yuko's Treasure. This one gave me such Ghibli vibe. It also gave me the twins vibes, purely because I thought they were going to be twins.
That's what Taylor thought too, because this is one of the ones she was in and out of, and she thought it was building to finding out that Sola was the pink-haired one's relative. I was like, no, his dad is the bartender at Chalmers. I'm assuming it was Chalmers Cantina. It looked like Chalmers Cantina.
It looked like it. Yeah.
But this was fine. You know, like we said earlier, it was like the Ghiblified skeleton crew.
That's exactly why I liked it. Also, it done what the twins in season 1 did for me. In fairness, but the twins just there's every like thematic thing in Star Wars in that 20 minutes. For me, then this has that exact same thing, just in the completely opposite end of the spectrum. And I loved it. I adored it.
How do you mean? Because I know what you mean with twins. Because like twins is like, it is the light side, it is the dark side, it is a family struggle, it is people on opposite ends who love each other. Like it's all of that. How do you see that with Yuko's Treasure?
Because I was literally right there. I can't remember what was the kid, the blue-haired kid's name again.
Solo.
That's why I thought it said Solo at first. I was like, no, please don't do this to me. I just thought he had that. No, obviously it's a kiddie version, right? He's with the bounty hunters and everything, and then he has that realization and comes back around. That's where I get that from.
I see what you mean. Like I said, I don't really have a lot for this one. You know, I think out of all of them, even though like Mos Eisley looks so good in this art style,
it does.
Like there are some shots of Mos Eisley that are like 1-for-1 recreations of shots from the special edition of A New Hope that are like that look so good here, legitimately. But outside of those little moments, like it's very easy to forget that this is supposed to be Star Wars. And in a way,
I like
and that's part of why I dislike it. Like
the further Visions gets from being like, "Hey, this is Star Wars," like the more I like it. I think
I like it when it takes anime sensibilities and applies it to Star Wars. Shit like the ridiculous mech AT-AT, or you know the duel, you know, where it's like let's put Star Wars in like medieval Japan like it was a Kurosawa film. But
Boom. Wow.
Boom. Wow. I got tongue tied. Thank you for calling attention to that. You're such a best friend. I
was like, wow, he's just gone full racist here. Like, Jesus.
No, I got tongue tied. But we're going back to the very beginnings of Nerd Academy, and back in the Hall of Heroes days, where Travis was like, Travis figured out the ways I would get tongue tied and got me to start saying Thor, Thuv, and Lunder.
I can't say that type of shit. I just say Thor 4.
Yeah, he would get me to say the worst one was 4.
Oh, wow.
Thuv and Lunder, and
classic.
And you know, so we're back to that with me not being able to say the word film now. But it's a lot of that is like, let's take Star Wars and let's like make it anime. And this one feels like, let's make an anime that we will occasionally remind you takes place in a Star Wars setting. Like again, like I continuously forgot I was watching a Star Wars thing unless and until I saw a holoprojector, unless and until I saw the Mos Eisley cityscape, unless I remembered one of the jobbers for the bondage furry pirate with a jerry curl was a Twi'lek. You know, stuff like that where I was like, oh yeah, this is Star Wars. Oh, there's a land speeder. Yeah, this is Star Wars. You know, the crate dragon Like it was.
I was going to ask,
you,
was that a crate dragon? That was my initial go-to, and
I
couldn't
think it
remember
was a
if crate
crate. I
dragons
think
had
it was a
legs.
crate dragon. I believe it was supposed to be a crate dragon. I
That's what
might be
thought.
wrong. I think that's what they were going for, since it is like underground on Tatooine.
Yeah. Also, their heads are similar shape. No.
Yeah. Like I
It's that
said,
big
not bad.
dragon.
We also hear it make the noise. It does make the crate dragon noise at one point, but
Only
it's like
you would ever catch that. So
sorry. But like I said, it just didn't feel Star Warsy to me really, and I just this was like, yeah, sure, fine.
I will say, if anything, this feels like the Pod Racer band from season 1.
Tatooine Rhapsody.
That's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah, it feels. That's what I wanted to say, but I wasn't sure. It feels like that the episode equivalent of that for this season. But
Yeah.
I get the feeling, because this is done Kinema Citrus Company, who also do the next episode as well. I feel like they got given two for some strange reason, where it's like, hey, we will make a sequel to that episode, but we want to do our own thing.
Right.
Like,
Right.
can we, you've given the Night Jedi Studio series, can we just have like an extra short for ourselves? Like,
Yeah. To like do Ghibli Skeleton Crew. Yeah.
mm.
Yeah. And again, I like it a lot. It's just
Mm.
not really my favorite.
It was adorable. I loved it.
It's good. It's not. I don't think
They
I don't
put
think
a
any
Darth
of these are
Vader
bad.
helmet on a teddy bear, and it makes him bad. I love
Yeah.
it.
And a black cape.
And the black cape, yeah. And it's all fixed because they take it off, and that's it. That's all they had to do. Just take the helmet off.
I feel like that's what you guys mostly think of me. That I'm just a teddy
Oh,
bear wearing a
100%,
Darth
yeah.
Vader helmet.
100%,
I'm just a
yeah.
teddy bear who wants to dress like Darth Vader.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
And then they have that. It wasn't empty. It was everything's below us. And I nearly cried at the whole thing below the holograms. Like,
oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. That very Star Wars, However, our next one is my favorite.
It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I be honest, I can't remember much of it apart from the final fight.
So I like Village Bride a lot. And I
like Village Bride a lot as well, by the way. It's just not my favorite one.
Village Bride and Ninth Jedi went back and forth between 2 and 3. Like those ones are constantly shifting. The Duel was my favorite from season 1. But the Lost Ones is my favorite, like by far.
Fair.
And
by far as well, man.
I watched this one and went, yep, that's it. And because so much of it is like, it's what I love from a story about a Jedi who survived the Purge.
Yeah.
It's why I love Cal. It's why I love Kanan Jarrus. It's why I love the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. It's that push and pull.
Just name every Star Wars thing. Oh, come on now.
No, I mean, but just that specific story of a Purge survivor.
I know. Every Star Wars thing.
Shut up.
It's like bite, Jarod. For God's sake, just take the bait and move on. Like, come on now.
But I'm not going to take your bait when your bait is objectively incorrect. But
that's why it's bait. Oh.
But I'm glad I have you on camera admitting that 90% of what you say is bait, though.
I never said put words in my mouth.
No, but that's what you're getting at, is that you're you're saying something that's incorrect on purpose to get a reaction out of me.
Yeah, just one specific thing.
Most of what you do. Anyway.
Wow.
But I love the dynamic of, a Purge survivor helping people, even though it is so wildly out of their own self-interest. I think that makes F really compelling, especially as a character similar to Cal Kestis, who was not brave when the Purge came down. Like Cal is useless when the shit hits the fan. Yeah, he's 14.
Child.
Sure, a child. There
A
were
literal
more. There were more childlike Jedi at the time who were doing
Sure, but let's not act like a 14-year-old has anything together.
No, of course not. But I'm just saying, for the sake of argument. But it's that dynamic of like, well, I couldn't do anything then. Well, I sure as shit shouldn't do anything now, but it's the right thing to do. And it's also a dynamic we rarely get to see, where it is the mentor who falls to the dark side and not the student. I also love my Inquisitors, so I was jazzed to have an Inquisitor show up, because I think that is an archetype that lends itself well to the Visions format of just having the
Yeah.
Inquisitors, just these like villainous jobbers with a lightsaber that in canon is ridiculous.
It's literally the Ginyu Force. Let's be honest.
Don't say that. Oh.
Every Inquisitor is literally just the Ginyu Force. The only thing they don't do is the posing. The only difference. I now need me an Inquisitor to be like this. It's like,
oh, you broke my
he
heart.
knows I'm right because he has nothing to come back to it. He's just reacting to emotion.
God, that's so upsetting because I love the Inquisitors so much.
What's wrong with the Ginyu Force, Jared?
They're just a bunch of fucking goofy jobbers. I love my Inquisitors though.
People
God
love the
damn.
Ginyu Force. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with the Ginyu Force, Jared. It's just exactly the same thing.
I can't believe that my character in Ionized Bastards is an ex-Ginyu Force member.
Oh, that's fantastic. That makes it even better.
Which member of the Ginyu Force is Fabian most like, in your opinion?
Oh,
because I can't remember any of their name except for Captain Ginyu and Jace.
You know what? I was gonna say Jace. Partly just to piss you off. I knew you wouldn't like it. I can't think of his name. It's not Zarbon.
Zarbon's the green one, right?
Oh, the little green one.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no.
Who's the one who's like who's the member of the Ginyu Force who basically looks like the Master in this? Because he has the effeminate face and the long hair.
Jace. That's Jace.
That is Jace? What?
Yeah.
He turns into like the ugly green guy?
The ugly green guy is Gordo. Because what I was going to... The one I wasn't going to call it because I think it would be a bit too harsh was Raccoon.
Uh-huh.
I thought, no. The Mr. Palm Tree haircut, the ginger and dumb as fuck, I wasn't going to call it Raccoon. I was more going to go Berta than anyone else. The blue one with the red eyes.
Yeah.
I thought that's a nice middle ground. I think Jace is probably the most accurate one, to be fair.
Brutal. Okay, moving on.
But
no, I really do love this.
No.
I really do love this one. I also love the use of like the carbonite vials.
Yeah, I really like the whole carbonite bit. Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Made me remember the whole subplot at the beginning where he's like, "I'm gonna stay here with my wife and kid." I'm like, "Oh my god, that's horrific."
I remember I gasped when I saw that like they got like carbonite Pompeii.
Just like that that's horrific.
That was horrifying. But yeah, and I also like because so often in
Star
Wars,
shadows on the wall. Sorry, it's just
no, you're good. It's very a lot often in Star Wars, mostly because of Darth Vader. We use the concept of somebody losing their physical, like organic limbs and being replaced with cybernetics as like a shorthand for them sacrificing their humanity in the name of power. A lot of that also has to do with how much the imagery of like a mechanized military force is synonymous with the Galactic Empire and synonymous with evil in Star Wars. So I think it's really compelling to see that theme turned on its head with F and be like, she is very cyborg and she's about to become even more cyborg, but her humanity remains.
Is it even more though? I thought she's already missing a leg and an arm.
Well, she lost both of her legs and an arm by the end
Yeah,
of the
but
fight.
she already had a cyborg leg and a cyborg arm going
Did
into
she
that
already
fight.
have a cybernetic arm?
Because you see it at the start.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if one of her arms was already cybernetic.
Yeah, because she loses the arm in the first episode, doesn't she, from season 1?
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's been so long.
I really liked how she uses the lack of, I guess, pain, because it's all cybernetic. Because I can just bring that back. It doesn't actually matter when she does the whole Anakin flip over thing to whack the carbonite stuff in him.
Yeah, which I also love that because like Taylor pointed it out. Because at first you can't really tell if how much he hit her or if she just landed funny. And I was like, she got the Obi-Wan, like, there's your legs and your arm. Fuck you.
I had to go back a couple of times from that moment because I couldn't figure out if she lost anything when she's laying on the ground. Like, she's clearly missing an arm. Obviously, she was missing one anyway.
Because you can see the scorch mark on her tunic.
Yeah, and when you go back, you see the arm just like out here. Obviously, it's the left arm. My right arm is being the left, so like it's the complete opposite end of the screen. And then I clocked that she doesn't actually stand up. And you can't see her legs in any of the shots. And then if you go back again, you can see that she's clearly got her legs. It's a nice little detail there. But very well done.
No, I agree. And again, it's taking that idea of like her humanity, her connection to the living force is unmoved, is unshaken, despite losing so much of her physical form. And like I said, it's a really nice inversion to what we typically see, with your Vaders and your Malaks and your Malgus, these like 3 Sith Lords who are, Darth Maul to a lesser extent, where it's like they lose a physical part of themselves and part of their soul dies. And that's not the case with F. And I just really, really enjoyed this.
I will say this has objectively the best lightsaber hilts in all Star Wars.
I don't care for the hilts.
That's because you're objectively wrong.
No, it's because I like them to be more design oriented, and they're just kind of like.
Except they are design oriented.
There's nothing that's distinct about them aside from the fact that they're kind of like flat and like katana hilt shaped.
The literal, like the hand guardy bit, this bit has a lightsaber ring on it. Fuck you, that's cool as fuck.
It is cool. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying I can definitely think of like 5 other lightsabers off the top of my head that are like more visually interesting.
They all look like dildos, Jared. Shout out.
The Lost Ones is very good.
It is very good, yeah. I will say one thing I hate about the art style is how they do the hair.
The green around the blonde was hard to look at.
The green is horrendous. I'm sorry. Stop that right now. That is the most. I genuinely thought I was going blind because it made my eyes go blurry.
I don't like that at all.
It was horrific. Never do that again. If I see that again, I will immediately never watch what it is.
Moving on to my second favorite, The Smuggler.
Trigger. This is a Trigger one.
They cooked. They fucking cooked.
Very much more Darling in the Franxx Trigger than Kill la Kill Trigger, which means nothing to Jared, but might mean something to someone else.
Nope.
Kill la Kill is on the Pro Noob Ducket, and it's going to be so funny.
But
never Google anything to kill. Never.
This one. This is going to sound very specific and like I only like it for this reason, but it's like, I think this is a testament to like the fact that it made my brain go to this place. This felt like either a one shot or a session 1 of a Star Wars RPG.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
You know,
Also has the coolest thing in any Star Wars.
is it the cybernetic arm with the
tonk,
lightsaber hidden
tonk.
inside?
Why no one has ever thought of that before, I don't know, and it made me like Star Wars as a whole less. Because that is just why would no why? How?
It's the same thing the Emperor does, just with his sleeve.
No,
You know,
it's not in his arm.
I think that's been done before. I want to say that's happened in Legends. I want to say that's a Legends thing.
No, canon doesn't care. Yeah.
Okay, but in the 50 years that Star Wars has existed, I think it has been done before.
If it has, then fair play. But as it stands right now, you can't say it has. So it hasn't. Well, it's happened now. But coolest thing in all of Star Wars.
You want to know how much fun I was having with this one and just how like engaging the characters were? Not for a moment did I think that woman was a Jedi.
No. I thought something was up with that. I never would have said that.
And it wasn't until that she was like, "I'll handle this" with the bounty hunter. I was like, "Wait, is she?" And I saw the thing like click out, and I was like, "Oh, she's gonna fire like a wrist rocket at it." And then ping. Like I fucking full crowd pop for me.
It's the coolest way to ever get a lightsaber. Nothing's ever topped that. Nothing will ever top that. God bless Trigger, because only Trigger would have done that. They remain goated. I'm sorry,
but no, that was so much fun. Also, my corruption of Taylor is nearly complete because
corruption in what sense?
Because she looked at the Jedi and went, "Oh, is that like Hattie Mundi species?" And I was like, not only did she say his name the way I say it, because I also get shit because not only do I get shit for liking that character, I get shit because I pronounce his name differently than everybody else. Because everybody else says Kiadi Mundi, I say Kayadi Mundi because I think it sounds better and it looks more correct.
How'd you spell it?
KI-ADI-MUNDI.
And you're saying Kayadi Mundi, right?
Yeah.
I would say I'm trying to think if I've actually ever heard anyone else say it other than you. I don't think I have.
Well, congratulations. That means you ducked a lot more acolyte discourse than I did.
Fair. Personally, I say it's Kiadi Mundi. But I have a feeling I've been saying Kai just because of you. And now I've got a little bit of resentment. It's like motherfuckers are making me say it wrong this entire time.
It's okay. I had a phase where I said Emperor Palpatine for a minute. That was mostly because of YouTuber I watched as a teenager, and I regret it because I had to train my little sister to stop saying Palpatine as well instead of Palpatine.
That's wow.
There's one other alternate pronunciation of that name that I will accept only from Ian McDiarmid, because there was one time he said Palpatine, and I was like, that only sounds cool coming out of your mouth. That only sounds cool coming out of the guy who plays him's mouth. In the same way that I will never pronounce the guy from the Hellblazer comics, I will never pronounce his name the biblically accurate way.
Oh, that guy.
You could put a gun to my head. I'm not saying John Constantine.
No. And I'm from the country he's from. No, it's Constantine.
Because every time I say it, Alden sends me the fucking comic panel where he's like, Constantine rhymes with lime, Constantine rhymes with time. That like he says it that way in the comic to tell the reader that it's pronounced.
Do you know who wrote that though? You could say, yeah, it's written by an American. Like, it's wrong automatically. It's an English name. Like, they don't know.
Either way.
Constantine. Right.
But I do really love this episode. Again, Scoundrel with a Heart of Gold, all of that stuff. This character feels even more like Han Solo than Seven does.
Oh yeah.
In that, like, I already have somebody breathing down my neck. I need to give them money right now, or my life is over.
Also, might
kind of
have the
thing.
best art style out of all of them.
I will say they did the lightsaber in a way I typically don't like, and I really fucked with it here.
What did they do that? I can't remember.
The core part of the blade was not as white as it typically is.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And I really, and like, this is one of the rare
Yeah.
times I actually like that it looked that way.
That's
One of the few times that actually looked really good to me. But no, I just absolutely love this. Again, it feels like a Star Wars RPG session one. I also really like, in a similar way to like with the Lost Ones, right? When it comes to the Inquisitors, I really enjoy an Inquisitor who believes it. Because most of the Inquisitors are either people who felt disillusioned with the Jedi for personal reasons and are like going in a very like pathologized resentment towards authority, turn to the dark side because the Jedi are gone and want to stick it to them. Or you have people who get Stockholmed into it. And then you have people who are, quite frankly, no better than like an Orson Krennic, who just want power.
Yeah.
And were bad Jedi from the start. There's only a few in there who actually believe in this shit. And that was another thing I liked, because that was originally the angle for Fabian. Was that like he was? It was that like he did not like his time as an Inquisitor because he resented the Empire, but when he was an Inquisitor, he did believe in it.
Yeah.
That he was like, no, like the Jedi failed the entire galaxy. It would be a net benefit if we got rid of all of them or turned them, whichever comes first. And I really liked that with the Master with Zero in the Lost Ones. And here, I also really enjoy the dynamic of somebody who walks the path of the light but does not take the title of Jedi any longer.
Yeah. No, I really like that angle.
I really like that, like I was no longer a Jedi. I now serve this royal family.
It feels a bit Bale and Skull to me.
Yeah.
In a way. No, it's not exactly that. I like the idea. I miss the idea of it, not the truth of it.
Yeah.
But it just feels like a parallel lane to that. It's not the same thing, but you can kind of.
It's the light side version of it. It's very much the light side version of it, where it's like there are bigger, more important things in the Jedi right now.
Yeah.
And like I can't walk that path anymore. But I still will follow the call of the Force, just in my own way. Like in another time,
fuck out of every fight I ever do. Just
exactly. Like it's very I lost my train of thought. No, and another time, like this character, like during the High Republic, would have been a way seeker.
Yeah.
Like this is like these are the types of people that the way seeker program existed for. To be like, I am walking the path of the light. I am upholding the Jedi code in my own way, but I need to act outside of the purview of the council.
Yeah.
And I think that's in line with a lot of how the Jedi are presented in the OT. Before we get a lot of context, we get a lot of context that the Jedi were like a centralized order. That would have been that were problematic for the Empire, so they were obliterated. Like it felt like there's a Jedi. There are Jedi all over the galaxy, and they're all doing their own thing, and they all like subscribe to the same religion, and they all believe very, very similar things. But like, there's a bunch of Jedi out there. It was how it was approached in Legends at first. Where like that's how we got someone like Jorah Sabaoth. That he was just doing his own thing, allegedly. Then we find out that's not quite the case, but that's how Sabaoth is presented in Heir to the Empire. So really cool stuff. I like the Smuggler a lot.
Okay. It would have been my favorite episode, I think, if it wasn't for the next one.
So Birds of Paradise is your
Birds of
favorite. I love
Paradise,
that.
which
Okay.
I said it on Blue Sky, despite it being 3D, because I fucking hate 3D shit. I think it's ugly as hell. I think this might be the best looking 3D thing I've seen from like a cartoon, anime, 20-minute slice of animation. Like the art style in it was fantastic. Like the whole shaders on it.
I agree. We're going to
My
pause
brain.
for 1 second. And we're back. Before we continue with Bird of Paradise, I did need to mention, because it was so cool, and I cannot believe I forgot, the Lost Ones. And I remember because I got the notification from AMC because I'm going to see it in IMAX in a couple hours.
Ooh.
The Back to the Future reference in the Lost Ones was so fucking good. Did you catch it?
Not that I can remember, no.
Okay. So whenever they're like mining the liquefied version of carbonite on the planet, the one guy in the hazmat suit, he like plugs the thing into the vein. He's wearing a yellow and orange hazmat suit, and he picks up he has his hands on his hips. He picks up the control, points it outward, and presses the button very dramatically.
Yeah.
That is the scene in Back to the Future when Marty puts his cassette player on George McFly's head, presses play. Marty's wearing his hazmat suit he was wearing while they were doing the experiment on the DeLorean in the mall parking lot. And in that scene, when George wakes up and he's like, "Who the hell are you?" Marty McFly says, "I am Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan." And that they flipped it here. It had him in the Marty outfit.
Honestly, I can't remember. I haven't seen Back to the Future in years. I can't. I can kind of remember that scene. I remember the line, the dialogue.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can screen share it so I can show what I'm talking about, so I don't sound crazy. But it is like exactly as it is presented in.
I mean, I believe.
I know, but it's so good. It's so good. I turned off the sound too, so it doesn't fuck with us.
How funny! That's 2 animes in 1 year that have done Back to the Future references.
Like it is exactly how Marty's suit looks.
It is, yeah. I remember that now.
So funny. I freaked out for that, and I was like, "Ah, it's Back to the Future!"
Hunting Soul's better, by the way.
But they're the other ones who did a Back to the Future reference.
Yeah, it's Down to Down. Does the whole amplifier thing.
Oh yeah. I thought what you said. I thought was the show, not.
Oh no, Hunting Soul is the name of the song. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, because they do the. Yeah. So, Bird of Paradise. This is where I want to talk about Evangelion.
I find it hilarious. You went straight for Evangelion here. It's like I didn't get that in the slightest. You said it, and I can kind of get where you're coming from with the whole introspective nature of everything. I can't
Ego death to give birth to the soul.
I got part of the reason why it's my favorite one. I don't know if you ever played it, but there was an indie game called KNR Bridge of Spirits. It's a PS5 launch title. I think it was a launch title, but it's not exactly the same as this. But it gave me that vibe, and I just immediately went, you know what? I love it. I'm here. No.
So, can I be honest with this one?
Go.
I did not like this for the first 80% of it.
Wow, that's crazy.
I loved the fight. I loved the fight at the beginning. I think that may have been one of, if not the best lightsaber duel in Visions Volume 3.
It's a good fight.
It was a great fight. That Sith, I just love the way the Sith moved. It was very, like it reminded me of Sidious in the Clone Wars. That like this is just a floating specter.
This thing's just all over the place, yeah.
And like even Maul, even Yoda can't get a beat on this fucking thing because it won't stop moving. It's a blur of darkness. and that
It's
was
very anime.
very anime, and I like that a lot. And I remember it was one of those moments where it's like, if this was a mainline Star Wars thing, I don't think it would have popped out at me as much.
No, it's all got shit, absolute shit on.
But because it was Visions, and I know they can get a little silly with it, and they can play with some ideas a little bit differently. It didn't
Can you actually have a thought for a change.
Shut the fuck up.
Cool, that was almost a spit take.
Maybe I'll walk out of here tomorrow and you never see me again. That's really what I want to do.
But because Visions has basically free reign to do wild shit, Taylor, she at this point is like fully locked in, and
Taylor's got taste. It's nice to see.
she was paying attention because she also didn't like it at first. She has the exact same opinion on this one as I do. Because she didn't like the light style. She didn't like the art style like you didn't, and that threw her off. I was sold on the lightsaber duel, and then I did not like this Jedi's characterization because the whole time I'm like, this is day one Jedi shit you're bad at, and it was like frustrating me. And I'm like, it's Visions, you can get away with doing your thing, whatever. But because there wasn't even like an attempt from this character to even pretend that they got it. That they understood that they understood the Jedi philosophy. And the very concept of trusting in the Force. I was like, what are we doing here, man? And then we hit the weird spirit. And once we piss off. And once we hit the spirit stuff, that's where I got in my element. Because like I love a blind Jedi. That is an archetype I love. That is something I want to do in one of Michael's RPGs at some point. Is I want to do the blind Jedi thing. You know, I love Rom Coda. I love Kanan Jarrus. You know, I love, like, again, because it goes back. One of Obi-Wan's first lessons to Luke, do not trust your eyes. They can deceive them. Trust in the Force. Qui-Gon, feel, don't think. Trust your instincts. Where it's that, like, your physical sight, when you have the power of the Force at your side, is nothing. That like you basically like in the way that like comics love to depict Daredevil as like he's blind but like he sees sound, like it's that on steroids for a Jedi. Is that like you're not physically seeing anymore, but like everything is kind of painted in the living Force around you. And I think that is really profound and really beautiful. And I was a little disappointed that it felt like we were only getting a little bit of that here and there. But most of it was her kind of just freaking out because she's lost in this forest and she's going to die. It's once we get to her fighting a dark side manifestation of herself and all of that stuff.
Where she goes full Sasuke.
Sure. And
you must have seen the curse marks in Naruto where Sasuke like gets the little black flame tattoo.
Yeah, I've seen. I know what you're talking about. I have no context for it.
Yeah, you don't need context for it.
But that was when it won me over. And Taylor said something that I don't think I've ever been more in love with her in my entire life, which again speaks to my nearly complete corruption of her. Was when she was like, when Taylor out loud said, "Oh, so this is very similar to the Yoda arc in season 6 of the Clone Wars," and I almost caught on fire. Because that is a sentence I never thought I would ever hear that woman say.
Yeah.
This is very similar to the Yoda arc in season 6 of the Clone Wars. And I was like, I paused it and I said, I've never been more in love with you. I have never been more obsessed with you than the fact that you just said those words. But yeah, so I really like that stuff. And for me, like we were saying, like the Evangelion of it all. And it's the 1-2 punch of these 2 episodes that I had a lot of fun with Taylor. Because I told her like, whether this was happening, I said, I want you to know all 3 endings of Evangelion feel like this. And she said,
technically the 3rd one doesn't, but Oh no, not the fourth. No, sorry, I'll give you that one. But yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, carry on.
But like all of them have that very like introspective,
Mm.
weird, heady, like I'm not really fighting another entity. I'm fighting the worst parts of myself, and to conquer that, to metaphorically and literally at the same time save the world by saving myself, because I myself am the world and the world is everybody else, but I'm everybody else. Like that very weird like there's like 18 fucking like blocks you have to shift around at the same time to
It's
complete
an onion.
like
Got
an
layers.
8D Rubik's cube,
Mm.
you know, like it's all of that. And I'm like, I was like, this is very Evangelion. And she was like, I don't know what that means, but that's really cool. And she was like, I could see why this worked for you so well. And, you know, so I
You should
really
watch
like,
Evangelion.
good
We'll
luck.
get to read Evangelion. I think the manga's easy to digest.
I don't think there's any version of that could be easy.
Oh no, it is. The manga's not totally different, but it's. I hate using this word for Evangelion. It's more coherent.
It's okay. I called Evangelion incoherent multiple times during Pro and Noob.
It's definitely more coherent. It explains a lot more. Also, it's got my favorite ending of all of them.
But yeah, so it's just I really liked how weird and heady it got. Like especially in a Star Warsy context. You know, I think it's a lot of fun to like take those ideas of, you know, conquering the dark side. That, you know, that fear is like, again, like Eli, I hope you're watching. Yoda is right when he says, you know, fear leads to hate, hate leads to anger, anger leads to suffering, or anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. But like that pathway of like that fear will make you make bad, irrational decisions. And I think the path of this Jedi in Bird of Paradise is, I think it's a very similar path that Cal goes on in Fallen Order. You know, like I was watching that and I could not help but think about like that horrific vision he has on Dathomir.
Yeah,
You know, where he has to fight Jarod Tapal, and then when we come back to Dathomir, when he conquers his fear.
yeah.
You know, like I was very much reminiscing on that. And I thought it was beautiful, and it emotionally felt like Evangelion.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, our final chapter, Black.
Oh boy. Oh, this was. I had a trip on this one, I tell you. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Studio, by the way. It makes a lot of sense.
I believe it.
I googled that and I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised in the slightest. I didn't know JoJo anything apart from the memes, and like, yeah.
So we'll talk about my Evangelion comparison, and then we'll talk about.
I'm saying I want to know how if I'm any close to yours or not. This felt like an on the ground look of what instrumentality would have been like for people.
Yes. So what I was telling, so I'm like, yeah, I was like, wow, I was like that last one. I was like, it really felt like Evangelion by the end. I was like that felt like, I was like in a weird way, in an anime way. I was like, Mitch will be proud. This felt like home to me. Like it felt like I was getting to marry like the themes of Star Wars with the ideas of Evangelion all at once. I was like, this felt like if I experienced human instrumentality, it would be me in a lightsaber duel with a version of me with scary Sith tattoos and a red lightsaber. Right? I was like, that is what that would look like for me, I think, is that it would be going through the dark side cave on Dagobah. Whatever. What?
You'll know it's just Darth Vader coming down and you just turning into Fanta. That's what it is.
What? I didn't understand what you said at the end. It was Darth Vader coming down.
And you turn to Fanta, the drink. Fanta.
Oh. You're an ass.
That's what it is. Let's be honest. That's what your instrumentality would look like from an outside perspective. Internally, the bit you're making up in your head is probably exactly like this, yeah. But to everyone else,
everyone just sees me just kneel before Darth Vader. to become the husky star
I
killer.
wouldn't even say Neil. You are. I think her name was Mai, who has Ritsuko come and take her. I'll let you watch that clip back.
I'm okay. I don't. I'm not in a mental space where I need to be watching any of the endings of Evangelion right now.
I could have said the other guy that was clearly panicking over something, but I wasn't going to go that far with it.
But anyway, but no. So I just got done telling Taylor. I was telling her about like the fallen order of it all, telling her how this like feels like Evangelion, and I was like this felt really good. Like for me personally, I went on a journey with this where it was challenging me as a Star Wars fan. Pardon me. It was challenging me as a Star Wars fan to like let it cook, and it delivered. You know, very. I brought this up on a recent. Well, for you all, the most recent episode of The Road to Doomsday is Thor. But for me, the most recent episode of Road to Doomsday was Winter Soldier. And that's how far along we are. $5 tier on the Patreon. But you know, like, but I made this comparison then. Like, I think Alden has the best explanation of like what The Last Jedi feels like, where that like the first 75% of the movie is going Star Wars ? Questioning every idea, every theme, everything that is core to the DNA of Star Wars, and then the back 25% of the movie
Star Wars
is in all caps, bolded, underlined, 18 exclamation points, Star Wars, and it affirms all of it. And
yeah, I get it.
I think Bird of Paradise did something very similar to that, and I fell victim. I'm sitting here in my Last Jedi shirt Scotty got me from Celebration Japan. You know, like it. You know, it felt very evocative of that, and I fell victim to what I think a lot of people fell victim with The Last Jedi with this one, and I let it win me over. And it felt like Evangelion, and then we go to watch Black, and Jesus fucking Christ, and I holy
Just
shit,
got a little bit of Bebop in there as well. Little bit of Bebop.
I also thought of that because of that smooth jazz. So there's
it's not
a
even for
lot.
the jazz. There was a specific bit, and I can't remember what made me go Bebop, but it wasn't the jazz. The jazz plays a part in it, obviously, but
I think a lot of it is how the ships are moving.
Possibly, yeah.
Like the very abstract X-wings doing that classic, like I can't do the X-wing sound. I can do the TIE fighter, like but God damn, there's so much. I'm taking off my glasses. There's so much to unpack with this.
Mind Palace.
We're going to the Mind Palace. So we're watching this, and there's like 4 different conversations I want to have about this one. Part 1 that has to do with the Evangelion of it all. Taylor and I are watching this, and Taylor's like visibly uncomfortable.
The Death Star is the Chamber of Guff. Yeah, you are correct.
And like she's like visibly uncomfortable with what's happening on screen because it's very disturbing. And
it's just 2 guys killing each other. Yeah, or the same guy. No.
And I looked at her and I said, "You know how I said the last one is what every ending of Evangelion feels like?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "This is what most of them look like." And she visibly went,
Black is episodes 25 and 26. Bird of Paradise is End of Evangelion.
I would go so far as to say that a lot of the visual language of a lot of like what I can only describe as like mild cosmic body horror and just contorting reality around ideas is what Evangelion feels like when you're watching it, like the endings of it.
I mean, sure, but 25 and 26 End of Evangelion have 2 very distinctly different ways.
Sure. I'm also thinking about the rebuilds and the places the rebuilds go to.
I mean, the rebuilds, yeah, the fucking.
Plus, we also in End of Evangelion get like the world bathed in red and the Rei Ayanami head in the ocean, and like we don't
Yeah,
get
but
anything
25, 26, you just get all the crazy. It's just the rebuild ending, right? You get
I
all
know,
the
but what I'm saying is like visually, it
yeah.
is a lot of heady ego death, conquering oneself stuff, while you're also looking at kind of the most horrific shit you've ever seen in your life. And that's why I was like, this is what watching Evangelion at the end looks like. You're feeling the shit from the last episode and you're looking at black, is how I described it to her. And she was like, oh. And I was like, are you starting to understand why I wasn't right for like a week after I watched that shit?
She should watch Evangelion.
So I really like that.
She
I
should
will
watch
say,
Evangelion.
so I think she would like it. She just does not want to watch it because she saw what it did to my mental health.
That's fine. Don't tell her what she's watching. Skip it. I should never do this. Never do it. Don't try it at home. Skip every intro, and then she'll never know what she's watching.
That'd be the only way I could get away with it because she's heard the theme song too many times. But
Banger of a song.
but yeah, so what do you think this is about? Like, what do you think this is saying?
I mean, I think you can go one of two ways with it. It's either people just descending into like a very primal shit's going down. I need to kill someone. Like, get out of my way, every man for himself sort of situation. Or it's more introspective than that, and it's fighting. It's the instrumentality part, right? It's the basic urge in your brain fighting with the physical side.
So, because of how, when the very brief moments we see the exterior of the Death Star in this,
I don't like how you said exterior. You hung on the X part, and I couldn't figure out where you were going with it.
to
Exterior.
differentiate, because we see the interior a lot, so the exterior of the Death Star.
Yeah, but you hung on the X part, and I was like,
It is
anyway,
fully constructed. It is fully constructed. So when I initially watched this last night, my takeaway was this is the Battle of Yavin.
yes, the first one, right?
Yeah, Death Star 1.
That was my thought as well.
But the more I think about it, the more I'm hung up on the Battle of Endor. The more I'm hung up on Death Star 2. And
But don't they do the whole trench run in this? Don't you see
they do show the trench run, but you also see some of the interior, like not the interior, like the walkways and the hallways and like where people walk
the actual
around,
like construction,
but like the core of the Death Star. But we see those parts too. Like we also see like that gigantic reactor that Wedge and Lando blow up. Because when Death Star 1 is destroyed, it is instantaneous. Like like those proton torpedoes go into the 2-meter wide exhaust port. Done. Millions of Imperials dead. I say it that way because it is iconic language used about it. Stop shaking your head at me, fucker. But
I'm rubbing my eye, bitch. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
No, I would. That was. It's still just that. Oh my god.
But when the second Death Star is destroyed,
it drops, doesn't it?
Well, no, the Executor falls into the Death Star, and that's what helps usher in it falling apart, and then they blow it up. But to me, well, the reason why this makes me think of Death Star 2 so much is because Death Star 1, everybody was dead in an instant. From Tarkin to the like newest recruit stormtrooper, proton torpedoes, boom. Thing goes up. The second Death Star, they knew what was coming. And they had like 5 to 10 minutes to know they were about to die. And to me, that is where I start thinking about these two stormtroopers who are every man for himself. Like there is that one like viral post that makes the rounds that always likes to talk about how whenever Luke is like carrying like Vader's decrepit body after Vader sacrifices himself, that you can hear blaster fire.
Yeah.
Every time I see that scene, I'm going to be so honest, I forget to listen for it because I'm too caught up in the, leave me, I can't. If I leave you, you'll die. That's already going to happen. Look on you with my own eye. Like I get caught up in that whole moment between Luke and Anakin that I can't listen.
You're getting yourself ready to blub like a child for the millionth time.
I am, because that scene is Star Wars to me. That is power of not the Force but redemption, and it just moves me so much. But so I'm always so locked into that, I need to save you, you already have moment, that I don't notice the blaster fire. But apparently you can hear blaster fire, and it is not like X-wing cannon fire and TIE fighters. It is blaster rifles firing at each other. There were the only rebel in aboard Death Star 2 when it was destroyed was Luke Skywalker. Meaning, people were fighting and killing each other to get to escape pods, to get to TIE fighters, to get to troop shuttles, to get the fuck off of this thing before it was destroyed. And not that this has to be super lore accurate, other than I can't help but think about the way Imperials would be fighting and killing each other to get the fuck off of the second Death Star.
I think it depends on how you look at it, right? If you are looking at it more of it's a physical, there are two of them, then the second Death Star makes more sense because it has that period of time. If you're looking at a more introspective thing, you can just be like, well, it doesn't matter how long.
This is a death hallucination. Matter the amount of
time. Exactly, yeah. The brain, if the brain's still intact, obviously, was it 7 to 11 minutes that your brain just replays stuff after you die? You can still say it's all that.
And that's exactly what I'm getting at, is that like this can go either direction. Yeah. I think the version of it where it's two Imperials who, in the eyes of the Empire, are indistinguishable from each other. Not just because of the homogeny of the Imperial army, but because it's who fucking cares. Like stormtroopers are, recruited and trained to.
So let's be honest, it's probably because they haven't looked at it that deep, and it's just gone, well, they were clone troopers, right? They all look the same.
In Legends, they were still cloning people. It just wasn't all Jango Fett.
Yeah, that's why I said they weren't that deep.
Right? Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's one of those things that's kind of up in the air, whether or not the Empire still had a cloning. That's not a correction to you. That is just me yapping, because I love Star Wars. But you have that homogeny, right? That like, well, all of these stormtroopers are the same. They are trained to be used in gigantic group engagements. Like people always like, why are the stormtroopers such bad shots? Because it doesn't matter how accurate you are when there's like 100 of you all shooting in the same direction,
and they still all miss.
I need you to not worry about inflating the tires of the Batmobile right now.
Oh, I wasn't.
That's what we're doing right now.
I'm just thinking of every scene where there has been a ton of them firing all at like 3 people, and they've missed every single time. So,
well, so at that point, have the rebellion like figure out how to work around Imperial tactics. That's not the point. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, because these are just such disposable nothing people to the Empire.
Yeah.
Like I think that's also part of why it is just the same guy. To the Emperor, all of these are just the same fucking guy.
It's the Russian style of fighting. It doesn't matter how well you are, just numbers, just throw it. You're eventually gonna run out at some point because you're fucking awful. But just keep throwing at him, overwhelm it, just go. Don't matter. Are you a newborn? Here's a gun. Go.
And the philosophy and the doctrine of the Empire does not create people who care about the collective.
Mm.
And by that I mean they do care about the collective that is the Galactic Empire.
Mm.
What there is not is a deeply instilled camaraderie among men.
Mm.
There is not a deeply instilled sense of, to do a Phantom Menace, love you, Scotty, symbiosis. That's not there. If the roles were reversed, and let's say instead of the Executor, crashing into the second Death Star, Home One's engines are out and it's being pulled into the gravitational force of whatever, and it's about to collide with another ship. The rebels would be arguing with other rebels trying to save the other one. It would be Rebel Joe and Rebel Bob saying, Bob, get in the escape pod. And Bob telling Joe, no, fuck you, you get in the escape pod. No, fuck you, you get into the escape pod. And then Rebel Tim would have to shove both of them in to the escape pod. Like, philosophically, fundamentally, that is like one of the biggest core differences between the Galactic Empire and the Rebel Alliance.
Didn't we have in Rogue One in that corridor scene them like just scrambling to save themselves when the door closed?
They were trying to open it, but also by the
But
time
there was
they realized,
I'm certain there was something with one of them getting out of that door.
yeah, because he had the data card, and the rest of the rebels were like, we will die, so this guy who has the Death Star post can get the fuck out. And that's what I'm talking about. They like what was it, like 12 rebel soldiers, 12, like not even like technically, like, yes, they're a part of the Rebel Alliance now, but like those weren't even rebel soldiers. Those are fucking Alderaan security forces.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Like that guy who gets run through and the blade and Vader's lightsaber like juts out from the door is screaming run to other people.
In fairness, that movie's bad, so I can't remember all of it.
It's fine. It's not bad. It's fine. But but that's the difference. So I think there's also a commentary on, within the text right now, the Empire, but also like authoritarian regimes. It breeds a sense of rugged individualism to benefit the governmental collective, but not the collective of the people. And that is how you end up with a shootout in front of an escape pod while you have minutes to get out. So there's that. And I think that was really powerful. We also see the disposability of these stormtroopers, because while we're watching the Death Star explode, and again, and I think this applies to both, this is the second Death Star and we're fighting to get out, and like death hallucination.
You could also make the argument that they're green and red, so that's the second one. Because that's what the fight is: green lightsaber, red lightsaber.
I like that. But so like we have all of that going on, right? Where it's like you could go either way. It's either death hallucination and somebody is having like a psychedelic realization about how disposable they've always been. They just happen to die in the same place that either Grand Moff Tarkin or the Emperor died.
Yeah.
Two people incredibly important to the Empire. Two people that the Empire would sacrifice 1 million stormtroopers to rescue. Like Tarkin's worth as a human being, and especially the Emperor's worth as a human being, they're worth millions of stormtroopers in the eyes of the Empire. Gael Akbar, Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, those rebel leaders, the way they look at themselves, they're no better than Rebel Bob and Rebel Joe and Rebel Tim. Like that's the point of the rebellion. But I think part of it is the disposability and that aha moment of, I'm dying with a bunch of other stormtroopers right now, but look at all these other battles where I could have died. We see that one, like we can't tell where they are, but there's like the stormtroopers running onto that like T-shaped catwalk,
Yeah.
and it's all the stormtroopers firing at the rebels and all the rebels firing at the stormtroopers. We see what looks like Hoth, which also makes me lean towards it being the second Death Star, because if you were on the first Death Star, you certainly didn't serve on Hoth. You certainly didn't serve on Hoth if you were there. So, and again, it's just look at all of this death. Look at this absolute veritable meat grinder that is the Galactic Empire military.
But you could also make the argument it doesn't matter what you're being shown, because if it is the more instrumentality look of it, you then have that collective consciousness. So you're seeing just any other. They're all the same in the eyes of the Empire, right? So therefore,
exactly,
you're seeing every stormtrooper that's ever happened.
And another element that I really like, kind of using zombie fiction.
Yeah, it's very zombie. Yeah,
as an analog for groupthink. A lot of the imagery here, I could not help but think of the novel Death Troopers, which I make that distinction because there is now a stormtrooper called a Death Trooper, which are my second favorite type of stormtrooper now. Because Purge Troopers.
Purge?
Yeah.
What's that?
Like the Purge Troopers that are with the Inquisitors.
Oh, Purge! I think it's a perch, like a bird perches.
No, Purge, like the black and red armor. I really like the helmet design. Yeah,
I bet you do.
But there's different types as well. But the Electro, I like the Electro Staff Purge Troopers the most.
That surprises me.
Why is that?
I don't know. That's just I don't rate the Electro Staffs or Electro anything in Star Wars. I think they look fucking stupid.
I like them.
It's mainly I don't like how electricity is portrayed in Star Wars. It's just visually not my thing.
That's fair. It has less to do with the fact that they have an Electro Staff and more to do with the armor looks the coolest. Like fair. They have the little skirt. I like the helmet shape. It's like the Recon Clone Trooper. And then my third favorite are the TK Troopers from Bad Batch, which is like the Ralph McQuarrie style proto Stormtrooper armor. But anyway, I couldn't help but think of the Death Trooper novel because the imagery of a one-armed Stormtrooper that looks like it chewed its way out of the helmet is so evocative of Joe Schreiber's Death Troopers. Like,
I think the whole thing is supposed to be like that they are very visually
already dead
at this point. Yeah, it's like the way you have the helmet, like he's just got the one eye, like he doesn't cover anything and all that. It's just very much like these guys have been through it, like a zombie normally looks like.
Yeah, and it's just like that imagery again, kind of getting at that like zombie groupthink kind of motif. This was just so heady and weird and psychedelic, and the more we're talking about it, I think this is my third favorite.
What was your second?
The Smuggler. I think for me it's Lost One, Smuggler, Black. Just because this was so evocative and abstract.
I think for the whole Evangelion sake of it, I am going to have this one second, just because Birds of Paradise in this you do get that. Birds of Paradise is Shinji sitting on that little chair meme for all time.
Yeah.
Then you get the end of Evangelion bit, and then I see the Smuggler or the Bounty Hunters. I don't like the idea of Trigger not being in my top 3. But I think I might have to do them. I think it might have to be the Bounty Hunters. Actually, no. Bounty Hunters and Smuggler, I'm going to join them third. I can't separate those two.
That's fair. That's valid. I think that's very valid. But yeah, this one was just so.
Also, I wasn't expecting. I will give them massive props for Black because I was not expecting them to do anything like this.
And let me also
This
just
was
say
such
real
a
quick,
swing for Star Wars and the Disney thing. Like that's crazy. Fair play.
I was so not excited to be done, but like excited to say, like, okay, what's the last one? And also going, oh, this is the shortest one. That's so weird.
How long? It's still 20 minutes.
This is the shortest one, clocking in at 14 minutes.
It's only 14 minutes. Wow. I generally thought it was
the second
20.
shortest one is Song of Four Wings, which is 17.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But I was so excited to jump into the last one to see what it is. I didn't look at the key art with all the eyes, and the stormtroopers like throwing each other around. Yeah, look at the thumbnail for this.
Look at the thumbnail on
Disney Plus.
Yeah. Are you showing it to me, or am I looking at?
Oh, I thought you were looking it up. Sorry.
I thought you were showing it to me, so I'm like,
no, I can't. Here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
Like this is so horrific looking already.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at the thumbnail. I didn't read the description. I was like, okay, last one, let's go. Click, and I was like, what the fuck is
going on? You back out
on?
of the episodes in between them then? Or did you just not let it autoplay?
If it played through the credits long enough, it would like give you a quick description, and I liked looking at that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just so I could get a vibe check. Just because I know that visions can be so radically tonally different.
Yeah.
Between episodes, I kind of wanted to prime myself so I wasn't super victim to whiplash.
That's fair.
The
thumbnail for Black gives me Full Metal Alchemist vibes, and I was saying nothing more than that because I just realized.
Just like that's also on the docket.
Yes.
But like I said, like again, reading the description, on the cusp of defeat, a psychedelic battle plays out in the haunted psyche of an Imperial trooper. Like,
yeah, but I think that's been dumbed down, so Disney has something to actually put on Disney Plus. Like, let's be honest, Bob Iger of all people is not going to have a fucking clue what he just. Man can barely read. No.
But I'll also say in this kind of oeuvre, like, this is not my place to speak on it because, I correctly identify it as a fucking atrocity, but like I don't know enough about Japanese culture to speak on this like I'm any type of authority. I also am getting vibes of like atomic bomb trauma.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like that. I think that's also here in the art style of like a lot of it is like shadows being burnt into things.
I mean, you get that with the Lost Ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, I clock that so much as like a Mount Vesuvius thing. Like, especially because it's like solidified, petrified bodies embracing each other.
I think it's just if you just smack that on the wall, that's just like the same thing. But...
No, you're right. I'm just saying, like, to me, I out loud said, "Oh fuck, they got Pompeii." Was like I said that out loud when I saw those like the petrified carbonite bodies. Where this like the Black is just so evocative and so just chilling, absolutely chilling, and like I love all the Jedi themes throughout all of this. The Lost Ones is like that's the kind of shit that I could ramble on and on about the Jedi spirit with. The Smuggler.
What really annoys me looking at these thumbnails?
What?
The Bird of Paradise one doesn't look 3D. It's like it's intentionally gaslighting me into it because that thumbnail is like the best. It stands out the most out of any of them.
Can I also say something?
What?
The thumbnail for Bird of Paradise also looks like the lightsaber blade is white.
Yeah.
And I almost would have liked that more if by the end it was a purified crystal instead of the green, but
no, because the green stands out with everything.
You're right, but here it does not. And that is when the lightsaber is green.
I'm gonna say it. Bird of Paradise, best character design.
On like the main Jedi.
Mm, mm. She
I
looks the
also liked
best.
her master who had like the tattoos around his
Mm,
head.
mm. I just think
Um,
like it's insane how that one is my favorite. It's crazy.
but yeah, that was
Mm.
just. I'm gonna be thinking about Black for a long time, and just Chef's Kiss, really abstract Evangelion ass
I,
shit.
I'm upset because I know full well the other four people that watched this season, excluding me and Jared here, are not gonna like Black because they're too fucking normie. And it's just going to be the repeat of when Evangelion ended in the 90s, and we're never going to get anything like that again.
Eli, I know you're watching, and I know you watched Visions. I know you're one of the four, which is not true because Visions is super popular.
Is it?
Yeah,
I mean,
people
I know it's
fucking
got three.
love Star Wars
I know it's got
Visions.
3 seasons, but I don't see anyone talk about Visions
People
inside.
love this shit.
They better because
People love Star Wars Visions. Dude, Ronan got a whole
no
novel.
no one likes the twins, and that makes me even.
That's why
That
you
makes
and
me
Eli
feel
are
even.
buddies. He loves twins.
Yes, because he's got a bit of culture in him. It's crazy that Eli, out of all you lot, has the one good Visions take on season 1. It's
I
crazy to me.
like twins. It's not my
Crazy.
favorite, but I like it a lot. I think it's a really
I
cool
will say,
abstract. You know,
I will say, the dub of Twins is horrendous.
I've never listened to it
Look,
subbed.
Neil Neil Patrick Harris, and I can't remember who does her voice. She married the younger Franco brother. She was in Community.
Alison Brie.
That's the one. Fucking awful. I've never heard anything be more phoned in.
But
Whereas
yeah,
in the sub, art, actual art, fantastic. Highly
I'll have
recommend
to
go
give
watch
it.
Twins and stuff.
I will do that later today because once we're done here, I have to get ready to go see Back to the Future in IMAX, baby. Um, I'm so
Nice.
fucking pumped, bro. I'm so pumped. Um, but yeah, so I think that's all we got for Visions Volume 3.
Yeah, I'm just getting caught up in these thumbnails again. That's my bad. No.
But yeah, so
I might
there's
go watch
that.
Bird of Paradise again.
I think you should.
Mm.
Mitch, before we get out of here, where can the lovely people find you, brother?
You can find me on the Climbcast channel when we actually, I don't know when the next time we're doing the podcast because Armin's currently away. We've done nothing for the week. So, but in the meantime, you can find me on the Mitch692 channel where we have done Down to Down. I have a couple more Down to Down videos coming out. I've just been having a crisis of myself. I've been Shinji'd for the last month. That will eventually come out, I promise. But you
Keep this man away from a hospital.
please, wow.
Sorry.
Wow, that's the
It's
worst.
gonna be a big nut bust.
Too much.
It's
Too
crazy
much.
that within the 2 years of doing, or a year and a half, really, you've gone from watching Evangelion to less than a year later not resolving, just sinking down to that. There's the one joke.
I don't think there's the one
You've
joke.
hit the level of Evangelion fans have just 2 jokes and the hospital.
I think I have more than 2 jokes. It's just this one just gets a lot of fucking mileage because it's wild. Like, you can. It's like the SpongeBob Rock meme. Like you could ride this baby for days. Like
It's been like 30 years. I have to think
especially
about.
our version of discussing Evangelion. We have come away with many jokes.
That's true. That's true.
Like
Yeah.
obviously there is like there are like the main like fandom jokes. We also have Mind Palace. We have There's No Fucking Baby. We have Yui Rei Ayanami Gate. Like we have so many for us in particular. I think I'm pretty safe from only
And yet
falling
he
into the one
threw
joke.
his one shot at me. Mm.
You compared yourself to Shinji. I made the joke that could not be made.
I mean, it couldn't have been made this, but You chose to do it.
I did.
We would not survive instrumentality if Jarod was in charge. That's just
Yeah, we would.
no. Because no one's coming out of a sea of white. No, let's be honest.
You.
Now you know how I feel. Anyway, are we doing? When's this coming out?
In a couple days.
A couple of days. Well, Monday.
So the Road to Doomsday episode just came out. If this weren't a Road to Doomsday Marvel Monday, I would have dropped. I would have dropped this like right now, but I'm just gonna drop this on Wednesday.
I've just noticed you stole my Mondays. Well, that's inconsiderate.
I didn't steal your Mondays. It's Marvel Monday, fucker.
MCU Tuesday was right there.
What do you mean MCU Tuesday? What the fuck is MCU Tuesday?
I don't know. It was just right there. Anyway, I got to go read Down to Dawn.
No,
Monday.
it wasn't. No, it fucking wasn't.
Shut up. I got to read Down to Dawn. Monday, we are starting Attack on Titan.
Yes, we are.
Mitch692 channel. That's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done. God damn.
I do it ironically. It's a Michael thing.
I thought that was a Michael thing.
Fucking, you know, the Bombadcast social media is still pumping out clips from that episode of Bombad Court, and I just got served the clip the other day of me crashing out and having my like, Michael, if you didn't want to be up, like you shouldn't have signed up for fucking Bombad Court. Like,
that was the funniest bit because you got shot the fuck down immediately. And you know it as well because you went silent. You didn't say a fucking word.
Because
I had no comeback to that.
I was legitimately, I could tell you exactly what happened. And I could say this. I could say this because I love everybody who was on that screen that night. I was so legitimately frustrated that I was like, if I say anything right now, it will be sincerely mean, and I don't want to do that.
It would have been the repeat, just not as bad.
It would not have been that. It would not have been that.
Something absolutely heinous has happened on Jarod's section of the screen. And he ends up crying in the corner again.
I didn't cry. I felt really bad, but I did not cry for the record. But
it looked like
no, I was incredibly embarrassed, but as I should have been, and as I am.
Fucking fun. So funny.
But no, I was so frustrated. I was like, if I make a comeback, it will come from a legitimately mean place. And I've done that. I've done that in our group chat before. We're going back and forth, and I'm like having a bad day, and we're doing the normal verbal sparring match where we're all shitting on each other. And I'm already in a bad mood, and I'm not in the mood to spar, but I don't duck a fade. And somebody says something that actually hurts my feelings a little bit because I'm already in a bad mood, and I just mute the group chat because I'm like, I'm gonna say something and it's gonna be real life mean, and there's not gonna be any kayfabe. It's gonna be bad taste. And it's gonna be just fucking rude and mean spirited, and I don't want to do that.
Is that the fear, or is it the fear of it being weaponized against you later on?
No, I don't want to hurt my friends' feelings in a legitimate way. And anytime I've been told that I've legitimately hurt somebody's feelings, I am incredibly apologetic about it because I never want to do that. That's why I stop and go, now's not the time, because I will push a red button that I can't unpush, and I'm going to be really mean about it, and I don't want to do that.
It's the time where you have to do it. That's the British way. That's the time. Right, that's also the time where you will instantly be humbled. Like that, just like that.
No, I have no business.
You will get hit with a, oh, you're hard, and that's it. There's no comeback. High pitched, you're hard. That instinct. Okay. No coming back from that. Just can't do it. Can't do it.
It's not in my spirit. That's all.
Also,
But-
instantly snaps you out of the funk, so you get that double. You've been humbled, and you're no longer pissed off.
Well, at that point, I'd be upset at what's going on in my day and upset with the fact that I hurt my friend's feelings. Like, that is what would hit me.
It doesn't hurt the friend's feelings because they hit you with all your heart. That's it. Feels of steel in the UK. Apart from the knuckle draggers currently, they are very sensitive. That's why they're red, because they're crying all day.
But anyhow, you guys can find me over at Dark Jedi 2552, personally on Blue Sky and Instagram. I alluded to it already. Check out Road to Doomsday, the MCU rewatch show we're doing. If you're on the Patreon, you're about to see Mitch again. If you're not, you just saw Mitch last week for Iron Man 2. And coming up this week on Road to Doomsday, we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy with Eli from In the Galaxy. And then the next week is going to be Age of Ultron on the Patreon. Come check that out.
One of those, by the way.
He is on one of those. So he was originally going to be on 2, and then Eli was like, "Can we record at 10 p.m. Eastern time?" And I'm like, "I'm not doing that to Mitch."
No, that'd be 3 a.m. for me. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was going to say we're talking 9 hours from now. So
yeah, no. I could have done it. I know full well that I shouldn't do it.
I would not ask you to do that. So we're recording. So that'll be out Wednesday on the Patreon. And then, like I said, Age of Ultron coming up. So we're almost done with Phase 2 on the Patreon. So if you want to speed up through the process, be able to binge some episodes, check us out on Patreon. Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Brennan and Mar from Patroners They Were Not, Ray Clausen and Paco. Thank you to those folks. And you guys can find me over on the All Remaining Systems YouTube channel. Luminous Odyssey starts, I believe, in the next 3 days. I think he said November 6th was when it's coming out. Art and visual design stuff by Mitch, music by Eli. Story.
If you watch that trailer, I did not do that trailer, FYI.
No, like logos and thumbnails and stuff by Mitch.
Yeah.
I would say anybody who sees that trailer is going to go, "Oh yeah, that's from the High Republic press stuff."
I'd hope so. For anyone, a normal, down to earth person. No.
Okay. I love how not being down to earth means recognizing things. But yeah, so go check that out. Luminous Odyssey, High Republic RPG series. Myself, Miss Taylor, Alden, Joe Organa. It's going to be a good time. Epic Confrontations. Big singles championship match coming next month. Michael McCoy versus Alden Diaz for the first Epic Confrontation singles defense. I'm pulling for my boy. I'm pulling for my teammate.
And he calls me Shinji at the hospital. God damn.
We're gonna bring home gold for the Wayseeker Alliance, baby. Male companionship is jerking off in a hospital. Okay, thank you, Mitch.
No, let's not pretend like I wasn't going for the specific verbiage you used there. I'm pulling for my boy and doing this.
You're 12. You're 12.
Yes.
You're 12.
Yes, I am. Yes, but let's not pretend like that wasn't exactly what I was going for in that moment.
But no, so that's coming up. And then, like I said, Road to Doomsday and your regularly scheduled programming here on the Nerd Academy podcast. And obviously, Mitch already said it, Pro and Noob, Attack on Titan, coming soon. So thank you all very much for joining us. Had a lot of fun. Thank you, Mitch, for coming by to talk some Star Wars Visions. Next year, we're going to be also doing Visions on Pro and Noob because Ninth Jedi.
We will get to that eventually. with the 3 that we have. I don't know. Also, it depends when that's going to come out.
Yeah.
Is it early 26? So
I don't remember. I don't even know if we have a release date.
If they go by how anime stuff works, it's not the winter season for 26. So it's either the spring, summer, or winter. Because they've already started announcing what's starting in January now. but I don't know. I assume they're going by a more American thing, not how Japan does it.
We just know next year. We don't have
Is
any
that it?
idea on the date. Yeah, just
I would,
2026.
yeah. I mean, even then, with what 26 is probably going to be, I doubt it.
Okay.
Unless
Either way,
you can maybe squeeze it in, but
we shall see.
we'll
But
do it at some point.
I look forward to it. But, pardon me, we are honored that you have joined us, and may the force be with you always.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!